I think tonight I'd like to dispel a rumor. I had intentions to run for Senate, and the word's gotten around. I have not made an official announcement, but as much fun as I'm having with you guys, I think I'm going to be here for a very long time.
Russell Brazel is giving up the ghost. I'm not running. I'm staying right here because Jimmy Jones and I have become best friends. You know, there's an old saying the old folks said, and I kind of like it. A hit dog hollers, or a hit pig squeals. Well, ladies and gentlemen, fireworks at the county council meeting. Of course, Jeffy gets blamed for everything. Oh, you can't say things. You can't say certain things to county council. And the bridge, well, the bridge is not going to be fixed anytime soon. And the boat ramp, well, the boat ramp's on hold. And Woodard Park, that thing's on schedule. Yeah, that's what we're covering this week on the Liberty Report. Let's get started.
If a government claims a right, and then their claim is that they derive these rights from the people.
Right.
Well, how can people give a group rights that they don't themselves have?
To steal from each other.
Right, if we can't tax people, like I can't tax you, where exactly does government derive this right from? And once you come to, you realize that the goal ought to be as voluntary a society as possible. Now, how exactly you achieve that, how far you can push that is debatable, but certainly that should be the goal. That if government is providing a service for you, well then why does it need to be provided by force?
Hello, and welcome to the Liberty Report. I'm Jeff Maddox. Today, we're covering the Kershaw County Council meeting of November 14, 2023, and the return of Katie Guinn. But on the first call of order, we have the County Council agenda. And on the agenda, as you can see, we got a couple of public presentations by the United Way and the General Counsel Corporate Secretary, Market Manager for America's Sterilite Technologies. They're looking at it coming in and expanded a little bit. We had the approval of minutes, discussion, ordinances, but what I really want to point out here is we have the first reading of a feelot, that's fee in lieu of taxes, ordinance for Project White Oak. And above it we have feelot for Project Tree. And what's critical to understand here is that governments love to do these feelots. They're one of the biggest giveaways to corporations and all under the promise of bringing jobs. And what it really does is it brings the some jobs, and the taxpayers end up paying for all the infrastructure and all that, and the government grows because now they're getting more tax slaves. It's always been a big scam. And the public is unaware of who it is, where it's going, or anything at all through two readings. And then on the third and final reading, they release it just ahead of time. And almost like, what was it years ago with Obamacare? You got to pass it before you know what's in it. And that's the way that all your little counties, municipalities and all, they run the same scam. And it's just corporatism at its finest. It's almost as bad as public-private partnerships. So in our first story, what's going on with the bridge? The US 1 bridge over the Walter Reed. There's only one lane. everybody is upset about this bridge because it it's hard to get over to Chick-fil-A, and it's hard to get to Zaxby's, and it's hard to get to Eggs Up or Rush's or any of the fast food restaurants that Americans love to eat. And almost any time of the day is a backup. And everybody by now knows that DOT did an inspection, and they found that the bridge was something had happened, and concrete had chipped off, and they tell us it's 2 inches. Well, Danny Templer gives us some sort of idea of what's going on. And if you remember, Russell Brazel has been after the county and the state to do something with the boat ramp underneath the bridge there. So inevitably these are tied together. So just so everybody knows what the government is saying now of what's going on with the bridge, let's listen to a bit of what Danny Templer has to say.
I'm not going to go in order here because I'm going to need John to help me out on this stuff. So boat ramp update, we've got a meeting Thursday morning at 9 o'clock with Andy Wicker, the DNR engineer, on site over there at the boat landing, Patriots Landing. He's going to assist us with placement and location. DOT will be over there as well. Bridge engineer and their permit engineer will be over there. This is not just something where we throw some concrete down and throw a dock in the water. There's a lot going on with this, so there's a lot of moving parts. One of my concerns on this project is the fact that the bridge over US 1 needs some emergency repairs. I'm hoping that this won't end up being a concurrent project. I'm a little concerned about if that boat landing area will become some sort of laydown area of some sort. I don't know. We'll know more and brief accordingly as we get that information. But ultimately, that is a DOT right away, and that bridge repair is going to take precedence over anything we want to construct under there.
So basically, that means that the boat ramp, whatever ramp, that they're still in the planning stage. They got a meeting on Thursday down there with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has anything to do with government rule, regulation, or engineering or whatever down there to figure out what they might do when and if the bridge gets fixed. Danny goes on later in his briefing to explain what's going on with the bridge.
US 1, it remains in its current status of awaiting design concepts and things like that as my last conversation with DOT this afternoon. Ultimately, there was some separation from one of the supports from the main deck, about 2 inches. Mm-hmm. That has been shored up. That was a bulk of the work that the citizens had seen going on over there on the bridge underneath with steel support beams. The bridge is good for traffic in both lanes, but as a precautionary measure, they are keeping the weight and the traffic to the right lane coming into Camden. They are under their emergency procurement operations right now. They're looking for a contractor to carry out that work, but that work ultimately has to be blessed by the governor. It doesn't sound as emergency and expeditious as we would think, but
they should drive down Highway 1
yes.
headed east
yes.
about 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So it does require some planning if you commute back and forth every day, but I would think at this point by now it's been closed that lane's been closed for so long. People have unfortunately gotten used to it. I've heard some dates thrown out there, but DOT didn't confirm any dates. And
I think the main question I've fielded, I don't know about my colleagues, is what was going on, because they see that the lane is closed, but there's no work going on. So that answers the question. It's a precautionary measure on the separation.
So out of an abundance of caution, Out of abundance of caution, y'all, we're going to close that lane over there. I mean, it's safe. Don't worry. We looked at it. We stuck some steel under there, and everything's good. We could drive trucks over there. Everybody could drive over there, but an abundance of coffins. You know, these are the same kind, government's the same people that recommended the shots. Remember recommending the shots? Remember mask and all that kind of stuff? Oh, it's safe and effective, they said, and everybody believed it. You believe them now? And then the time, I don't know what time it is, and this might not be as big of an emergency for Henry the Disaster McMaster. So, ladies and gentlemen, they have no idea what the hell, when it's going to be fixed, if it's going to be fixed, what kind of boat ramp they're going to have, or anything else. It shows you yet again that all the different departments and everything of government, they can point fingers every which way and say, it's not my fault, it's their fault, they fault, they fault, they fault, they fault. And nothing getting done. It's a well-oiled machine, can't you see? They are so timely and all. In our second piece, we have Russell Brazel coming in his council briefings at the end of a 4-hour meeting, y'all. A 4-hour meeting. And at the end, Russell Brazel wants to dispel some rumors. Listen to this.
I think it's been a great meeting, a lot of debate. We've finished up some things that we've been working on for quite some time. I think tonight I'd like to dispel a rumor. I had intentions to run for Senate, and the word's gotten around. I have not made an official announcement, but as much fun as I'm having with you guys, I think I'm going to be here for a very long time.
What? There was a rumor? There was some sort of rumor that Russell was going to run for state senate. Now, what did he just say? He said he had intentions and the word's gotten around. I'm not sure this would be considered a rumor. It could be considered you were considering running, and now you're not considering running. So it wasn't a rumor. It was indeed fact. So dispelling a rumor. What the interesting thing is what Jimmy said in his briefing.
Russell, I think you made the right decision. You put family first, before ego, before ambition, and I'm glad you made that decision.
Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome.
What? I'm glad you made the decision before your ego. Great day, he's got an ego. Before your family and what greatness you want to become. I'm glad you made that decision. Russell, thank you. But Jimmy and Russell, I think, have become pretty good friends. Maybe even BFFs.
Mr. Jones and I have become quite good friends. Derek, Brant, Danny, Katie, really enjoy working with you all. And at this time, my family is more important. My time with my family and my time with our expanding business is more important than me trying to move ahead politically. So really appreciate the conversations that we've had. But I just wanted to clear that up, make that clear tonight. Mr. Jones and I have become quite good friends.
Well, I'll be dogged. How did I guess that? Jimmy Jones and Russell had become really good friends. And Jimmy gave him advice. Russell, I don't think you need to run right now. So we were right when we said Russell was intending on running for the state senate. Russell confirmed that Jimmy confirmed that. But Russell's not running. Question is why? Really? Why? I'll leave that for you guys to answer in yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on our third story, it's going to be pretty short. It's about Woodward Park. The Woodward Park debate, the Finance Committee coming back with their recommendations after the Rec Department had come with their recommendations on the three options of Woodward Park, all Larry Doby, all the money, or a combination of the two. And everybody has known for months and months and months what the outcome was going to be. But in order to cover all that, we're going to have to make a separate show, a part two, if you will, on the Woodward Park bait and switch, or the Woodward Park BS, because all of it was a clown show. But in the end, this is what happened.
With that, we'll go to a vote. Right, and the motion is, I'm going to read everything since we've had a long discussion. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Motion to approve $367,000 for field improvements in Westville and Bethune. $180,000 for lighting upgrades at Boyd Young Park. $180,000 for lighting upgrades at Copeland. $1,273,000 for improvements at Kershaw County West Complex, including the parking lot. And revitalization of Woodward Park, and if funds are available, purchase of the land adjoining Woodward Park. All those in favor of that motion indicate by raising your hand. Okay, Mr. Tomlinson, Mr. Cato, Mr. Shoemake, and Mr. Brazel, and all those opposed? Mr. Jones and myself.
Our final story on this Liberty Report is very disturbing. As we all know, the Twitter papers, the Twitter files have shown that government has been involved in all sorts of deals and pressure put on corporations and social media outlets to censor the American voices, the dissenting voices, the voices calling for accountability on a number of issues. But that censorship, ladies and gentlemen, the censorship of free speech also goes down to your county councils. Kershaw County Council is no exception to this rule. And so I thought to give you some context, let's go and look at the public comment guidelines for Kershaw County Council. In public comments, it is an opportunity for members of the public to inform council. It is not a time for debate. It is a time for council to receive input. It's not a time for council to respond. They don't respond. In short, during public comment, council will listen to public comment, but will not comment on the public comment. But 2, offensive and inappropriate comments will not be tolerated. And this is how they silence free speech. They stifle free speech. So let's just take a listen. And the fireworks begin when I use just one word.
Our next speaker is Jeff Maddox. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, welcome back. It's been a while. Recently, there have been some things that had happened, and I sent out to all of you guys and Madam Chair email that I'd like to read into the public record. It's kind of concerning. When the people elect a person to office, they place trust in them to uphold the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. In fact, every elected official swears an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The public trust is sacred in a Republican form of government. It is the social contract foundation upon which government by and for the people rests. To violate the contract is in fact a breach of trust and disqualifies the elected official from holding that trust. Madam Chair, has indeed violated the First Amendment.
Point of order, out of line.
Constituent.
Mr. Maddox.
Point of order, I'm talking to point of order. You are not allowed to speak to
Mr. Maddox.
about people.
Mr. Maddox, please pause in your speech so we can address the point of order.
And is presented in a short video.
Mr. Maddox, we have a point of order in the meeting. All right, deputies, can you please?
I'd love to do it right now.
Stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution? Hold it.
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay, sit down.
What the hell? What are you doing, Russell? What are you doing? You know, this is an interesting trait of the Brazzles. Whenever they are confronted with some sort of thing they don't like or something, they stand up. As you can see right here, during a previous council meeting, the earbud meeting, Russell's brother, Jody, stood up in the middle of the thing, threw his chest out like he was going to do something. Apparently, that is a trait of this branch of the Brazzles for some reason. But what did Jeff say right there? He said, Madam Chair has violated. And as soon as I said violated, Jimmy Jones and Russell Brazzle went crazy. Point of order, point of order, point of order. And I just continued to speak. And at that moment, when all of them were yelling, point of order, Katie Guinn asked the deputy to remove me.
Sit down.
Let them talk, let them finish it out, and then they'll let you finish. You know we don't want this, okay? Just let them finish their argument that they're going to
I
have.
have no right to free speech.
You most certainly do, but do you understand that they're trying to finish
And
the
I'm
argument?
reading this into
Yes,
the
sir, and you
record.
know that you and I agree on a lot of things, but we agree, or don't agree on something.
Yes, of course.
So let them at least finich their argument.
We have
And I-
rules
I
to
think
follow,
that
and the
they'll-
rules are going to be followed.
And I think they'll let you finish it out. How about let's do that?
Mr. Maddox.
I'm gonna stop right here. That is a prime example of a good policeman. Craig Hudson deserves all the credit in the world for coming in, stepping in, knowing that they're trying to censor me, knowing that I'm being belligerent to their offense, and yet coming in and de-escalating. First pointing at the chair and the council and saying, I got this. And then coming to me and de-escalating the situation, and all of us calming down enough to continue. Had this been somebody else, we don't know what would have happened, but we've seen it before. And I must give kudos to Mr. Craig Hudson, Deputy Craig Hudson. And if you guys see him, you tell him what a good job he did. But after that, Ms. Guinn continues, and we don't. Free speech is dead. Let's take a listen.
You are addressing county council and you are at our meeting. This is not the street corner, okay? So we have rules, you have to abide by them. Mr. Jones had a point of order first. Mr. Jones, what's your point of order?
A point of order is that you cannot make a personal attack on an individual, whether they're here, or whether it's our staff. Simple as that. And I think Mr.
Okay, I agree with that.
Mr. Brazel called a point of order.
Mr. Brazel, what's your point of order?
My point of order is that we should conduct ourselves with dignity. We should not call names, and we should not attack people.
Okay, I agree. Mr. Maddox, do not use any more names in the rest of your speech, please.
I disagree with that. This is not an attack. This is a statement of fact.
Mr. Maddox, I made the ruling, so you can speak to me. The ruling was not to use names. I didn't say anything about the content of your speech. Do not use any more names.
What are we going to reset the time to?
Reset the time to 3 minutes.
The evidence addressed to be viewed at a recent video that I sent to y'all. The facts are clear and have now been placed before you, which requires under your oath that you defend the right of free speech against enemies, foreign and domestic. I hereby demand that you honor your oath and condemn the blocking. Mr. DeVoe speaks for the county, not the people though. And so I gotta ask, if the county's opinion is for free speech or for censorship, what's it gonna be? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maddox. That concludes the public comment portions of our meeting tonight.
We have rules and guidelines. This is not the street corner, this is our meeting. Our meeting. This is not the people's meeting, this is our meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, they always separate these things. Many times they say as a public servant and all, but really the relationship is not that anymore. The relationship is master and servant. So at any point and any time, under the discretion of the chair, any word, any phrase, anything can be deemed to be offensive. Our previous chairman, Mr. Julie Burns, hammered me down once for saying the word steal and told me we will not use the word steal when addressing a government body. And I ask you, is that free speech? The word violated. Chairman Katie Guinn had violated. As soon as I said violated, it was a point of order. They thought that that was offensive. Well, what is offensive is that Katie Guinn had blocked me from Facebook for posting these videos and asking questions, asking for interviews. We have asked Katie Guinn on multiple occasions for an interview to discuss these things, various things. And we have been promised, we have been just ignored. We have said, name the time, name the place, we'll be there, it doesn't matter when it is. No. We've asked several. We've asked several council to come on. Let's do it, let's just talk. But no, silence. And then you can go into county council on any given meeting and you can praise any one of these boys and girls, or they and thems, depending on what they identify as that day. You can blow sunshine up their butts, if you know what I mean. I could have gone in there and said, you know, Katie Guinn, I'm glad you're back. We have missed you terribly. You have been a light in a dark, dark world. And nobody would have said anything, because that's not offensive. Now, if I was kind of making fun or something, you reckon they could satire? Are they going to censor satirism? You see some of that, of course. They get to pick and choose what they determine to be offensive. I was, as I began, I said, I'm going to read into the record the email that I sent every one of you. They knew when I said that what it was going to say, and they knew exactly when they were going to call a point of order, as if that was offensive. I am offended. I am offended at every one of them that did not defend my right to speak, your right to speak, our right to speak. There must be something in the air or something. You see Russell jumping up just like that guy in the Senate. Watch this.
Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution?
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr. Chairman?
Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can, no,
This is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Just the same. The whole world's gone crazy. It's an idiocracy. These people standing up, jumping up. Oh, I'll get you. I wonder what the Popo thought about that. That's some funny stuff. I almost laughed out loud when he jumped up like that. What in the hell are you doing, Russell Browder? But in the end, Katie takes charge, and like I was saying, the chairwoman in this case gets to decide. You know, I get to decide what's offensive and what's not offensive. Jimmy Jones gets to decide. Russell Browder gets to decide. Jeffy doesn't have any say in the matter, and you can't talk to any of us. You just got to use general terms, and we love you, don't you know? And we're going to show you things, and we're going to shove shit down your throat, but you can't say nothing. If it hurts, you can't tell them anything. So it goes on, and at the end, Jimmy Jones does give Craig Hudson compliments, and I will hand him to that, but at the same time, poor Jimmy is a statist at heart, and he supports censorship.
This is the county council's meeting. We have rules. We run this meeting. And I'm just thankful that we have Craig Hudson in here, who has always known him many years, and he knows what he's doing. He may not do it as fast as we think he ought to do it sometimes, but he knows what he's doing. And thank you.
This is the county council's meeting. It's our meeting. We have rules, is what he says. You see the difference? You see the difference? The county council, this imaginary being, this collective, that rules over our lives and says that they're serving us. They got rules, y'all, and you can't break them damn rules. Don't say nothing offensive about us. Mr. Maddox, escort them out. That's what they do. If they don't like the speech you're speaking, they're going to shut you down. As far as I'm concerned, you have the right to speak your mind. As long as you're not calling them names like, you know, shithead, dumbass, anything like that kind of thing. I can understand they using profanity, you know, and just going off on them and all. That's common sense. But to question them, question their actions, and especially when they violate our rights, and have them, point of order, shut up. We don't want to hear that. That's offensive to us. We don't care about the Constitution. We don't care. Shut up. That's what we have today in government. The reason we have the government we have today is because we haven't been vigilant, and we've let the fire get out of control. Are they going to be held accountable? They'd say, if you want to hold us accountable, it's at the ballot box. You can't speak that accountability. You can't question them. It's offensive to question them. We no longer have the right to question our government. It's too offensive. They're all playing their little games. It's just a ride. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only you that can protect your rights. The government is going to take it. They are representing the government, the collective, not the individual. They do not look at individuals. They look at the collective, the county, what's good for the county. A fee in lieu is good for the county because it brings in tax revenue. It may not be good for the individual who has to pay for the hamburger meals that you can't get anymore. It might be good for the corporation who doesn't have to pay for the infrastructure because the taxpayers are paid. It might be good for the government because, man, the government got a whole bunch more tax slaves. Don't you know? So in the end, it's you and I that protect each other, all our neighbors. But in order to protect the right, you have to exercise that right. Otherwise, just like not exercising, it becomes flab. That's what we have in America. We don't exercise our rights. And county council will step on these rights just as they did me, just as Katie Guinn did to me, just like Jimmy Jones did to me. They will do it to you if you question the government. They are there to protect each other. And the county attorney is there to protect the county, not the individual, not the people. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Liberty Report. Part 2 coming on the Woodard Park snafu. I want to thank everybody that has reached out and support, whether it be monetarily or just liking and sharing or just commenting and saying thank you. We do appreciate it. It helps a lot. If you hear anything and you want to get in contact with me, you can always email jmpatriot7@gmail.com. Any tips and all your sources and all, you know, the Unholy Alliance is kind of freaking out because we're starting to get a lot of information because people see what's going on. And we're the only outlet out there that will tell the truth and tell you how it is. So we appreciate those people too. But they got themselves in a bind. See, they don't trust each other now. They're looking in both directions. They don't know who to trust because we get information. That's just such a life. And we'll stay on them. That's it for the Liberty Report. Thank you, guys. Until next time, peace.
If a government claims a right, and then their claim is that they derive these rights from the people.
Right.
Well, how can people give a group rights that they don't themselves have?
To steal from each other.
Right, if we can't tax people, like I can't tax you, where exactly does government derive this right from? And once you come to, you realize that the goal ought to be as voluntary a society as possible. Now, how exactly you achieve that, how far you can push that is debatable, but certainly that should be the goal. That if government is providing a service for you, well then why does it need to be provided by force?